Probably should.
Good morning, it's 9 a.m., Monday, July 25th, 2022. This is the Muscatine County Board of Supervisors. I'd like to call the meeting to order. First is to review the agenda.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Nathan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next is discussion of possible action to approve claims dated July 25th, 2022 in the amount of $738,413.74.
47 cents, I believe it was. I'll move the approval.
Motion by Jeff,
Second.
second by Santos.
It
All
was 47 cents. You got that,
I
okay.
did not say 47?
You said 74. You're dyslexic this morning.
Sorry.
Oh my dog.
I thought you said 40.
I thought it said 47. Doesn't matter. The number is 738-413-47.
Yes.
Motion by Jeff, second by Santos. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action to approve Drainage District Number 13 stamped warrants dated July 25, 2022 in the amount of $13,593.09.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Santos. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action to approve and authorize the chair to execute an 28E agreement for mutual assistance, Muscatine County and Louisa County, sharing a veteran services officer with Community Services Director Felicia Topper. Felicia, do you have a comment?
This is a 2080 agreement that just codifies our relationship back and forth with Louisa County. Louisa County took over most of our veterans' work when Jen was gone. And so what this does is it allows both entities to be able to bill back and forth if that's what they so choose. At this point, Cottle with Louisa County hasn't billed back for his time, but he has some upcoming medical issues and that kind of thing that we're just going to reciprocate back and take care of it that way. But if there is a point at which Adam could not do it anymore, then we could bill back for the additional time that our VA director would have to put in above his 40 hours to manage Louisa County.
Okay, so this
Okay.
just, then this just allows the counties to reciprocate with funding if required out of
Yes.
the pockets.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
And
move
it has
the
to be
approval.
approved by the Louisa County Board of Supervisors as well yet, so.
I'll move the approval.
I'll second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Nathan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
We gotta get you guys, I don't know if any of you met Eric yet, our new guy, but he's fantastic. I'd love to get him in here for a meeting.
Will do.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I had not met
Okay,
him.
thank you, Felicia.
Uh-huh.
Next is discussion and direction regarding a motor vehicle trade and purchase for the Building Zoning Environmental Office with Zoning Administrator Eric Furnace. Morning, Eric.
Morning. If you'll recall, at budgeted time, we had budgeted to replace one of our vehicles. We had decided last year to keep one for 3 years. As you recall, we had been trading every 2 years and having a really good success with trade-in values and fleet pricing and cost of ownership, but we wanted to see what a 3-year ownership would look like. Well, I don't really want to tell you that that was a good move or not, because as you know, with motor vehicle pricing in the last year or two with COVID, things just got crazy supply chain issues. So I don't think that that's necessarily an accurate representation of whether 3 years is better than 2. But anyway, we budgeted based on some pretty rough numbers from the dealership. They were having a hard time speculating what costs were going to be come July 1. This was back in December when we were getting budget numbers. They threw out a number because GM was all over the place with fleet incentive numbers. The handwriting on the wall was that there wasn't going to be much for fleet incentive numbers. They did get their prices solidified, and the final price is actually about $1,300 more than what we had budgeted. The purchase price went up about $3,100. The trade-in value did go up about $1,800 more than what we had estimated, but the difference is the $1,300 more than what we budgeted. But I think Ed Morris here in Muscatine does have one vehicle in inventory. Last several years when we budget, they kind of earmark one for us. case. We weren't obligated to purchase it. I checked other dealerships in the Quad Cities, and they had nothing in stock. Could not give me an estimate on when they could order one in. The only thing they had in stock was fancier package vehicles that we don't purchase. And the quote from the government leasing guy at Green Chevrolet GM in the Quad Cities was, if a local dealer has one in inventory with close to your budget, you better jump on it. So I'm just requesting authorization to go ahead, trade our 2019 for a new one with Ed Morris here in Muscatine.
Eric, so basically with this new plan that you threw out, we know the challenges that you had from the years of being able to know that the cost increased. Did you notice any differences on like mileage or any interim maintenance, or do you think that moving forward, the 3 years is gonna be okay?
We didn't experience any additional maintenance cost. We are gonna, if we move forward with this trade-in, we'll get it traded in while it's still under warranty, just barely. Cause we're averaging about 12,000 miles per year on it, which there's still pretty good trade-in value on a truck like that. So no, I wouldn't say that we experienced any additional maintenance issues going to a 3-year rotation plan. It's just hard to ascertain with the way the market went.
Yeah, no, and I know, I just don't, I wanna be able to know, is that a better policy or moving forward, or is that a better
I can't tell
system
you
to do that?
with this year, cause the prices just were so much different. The 2-year thing had been working well. We had been running around that $3,400 to $4,000 per year cost of ownership. If you look at it with this year's prices and trade-in values, going 3 years, we're a little over $5,000 per year. But again, I don't wanna blame that on a 3-year versus 2-year cycle, because the numbers were so much different than they've consistently been.
Yeah, it's all market driven. And what's the mileage on the vehicle you're looking at trading?
We're a little over 34,000 right now on that one, and so there's still really good trade-in value
Heavens, yes.
on those, and and then we will go outside of warranty on it. We'll have to replace a set of tires. That was the one thing. It really probably should have some tires put on it now at over 34,000, because as you know, factory tires aren't the greatest quality. We run a lot of gravels, so that'll add some costs if we had to keep it another year. Where when we're trading them every 2 years, we never had to replace tires. We just had a few oil changes, that type of thing. So, but I think if we were to keep it another year, we are going to see some increased costs for sure.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, I guess we'll look forward to see what your plan is next year, or budget, to see if you wanna go with another
Yeah.
continued 2-year.
yeah, I think it's still worth looking at. What's the cost of ownership per year of 2 versus 3? But this last year is just not a good year to try to make that comparison.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to approve.
A second.
Motion by Santos, second by Jeff. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is items with County Engineer Keith White. First thing, morning Keith. First thing is discussion and possible action to approve resolution 07-252201, supporting participation in a statewide application for a Safe Streets and Roads for All SS4A grant to provide/update safety action plans to all 99 counties.
Yes, good morning. I'll add just, most everything you need to know is right there in the resolution, but I'll add just a little bit of information. In the new transportation bill, there's about $1 billion in safety funding available. In order to receive any of that funding, you have to have a safety action plan. We have one that we did several years ago. You remember how many? Oh wait, let's say 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's
We did one, but it's been determined by the feds that, and so the 99 counties, 57 of us already have a safety action plan, but it's been deemed by the feds that that's not quite adequate. So they're looking at doing a grant application for all 99 counties to either provide them with a plan if they have none, or to update their plan. Who knows, the new cover sheet and it's good, I don't know, we'll find out. They estimate that to have a value of between $30,000 and $50,000 per county for that to happen. And
Per county?
per county. Let's put it this way, these plans can cost 30, 50,000 if done individually at some later point in time. So
Okay,
probably less in mass,
okay.
but,
Not necessarily what they're intending to spend.
and then the big thing, if they get this grant, and by the way, the DOT, Traffic and Safety Bureau is on board recommending that we do this. If they get that, we're talking zero cost to the county, to any of the counties. They're proposing 80% federal aid and 20% Highway Safety Improvement Program secondary swap money. So it's a no-cost option that hopefully this thing would get funded.
Well, I would make a move through approval.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Nathan. All in favor, signify, oh, no, sorry, this is a roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I vote aye, and Santos?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action to approve various utility permits.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have 2 utility permits today. The first is from Arion Network Services of West Des Moines, Iowa. They request to install interduct with fiber optic cable along the following roads. They're going quite a ways. 135th Street, Vine Ave, 120th Street, Vale Ave, 121st Street, and Davis Ave. They're basically going from Scott County to Johnson County. The second is Lumen of Muscatine, Iowa, formerly CenturyLink. They request to install telecommunication cable underneath New Era, roughly 1,000 foot southwest of Tucker Ave.
I'll make a motion to approve all this.
Second.
Motion by Santos, second by Nathan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes. Project updates.
Do we know, Brian, is there state or federal funding out there for these projects again?
I do
Is
not
that why
know.
we're seeing the uptick?
I do not know that.
Okay.
There has been quite a few permits coming through.
Yeah, we had that a number of years ago. I remember when someone giving out money and it was going crazy, so.
I know that the Lumen one, that one's just for a new service. The large Arion one, there could be some different funding to that.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
For projects update, we got a lot going on. The 171st Street paving job. Last week, contractor was able to pave the last major portion of the mainline pavement. This week, they hope to complete the remaining concrete handwork. Got some work to do at Yankee for concrete. And then shoulders and minor grading to follow that. The bridge up on York Ave, last week, Schroeder Construction, they poured the bridge deck. This week, they'll continue to work on the open railing. Our maintenance seal coat, which is LL Pelling, they started seal coating late last week. They worked on the roads in Mount Pillier. They also worked down on Boxcar south of Fruitland and on Burlington Road. This week they'll continue seal coating. Our maintenance pipe culverts project, which is PCI, they showed up and closed Vale and begun work late last week. This week they'll continue working at that location on Vale. That's what I got for an update.
171st, is that 3 weeks out then, you think, if they're 2 weeks out, close?
I would say probably all of 3 weeks. So weather dependent, obviously.
I know that SSAB's plan outage was coming up, I think, in late August. I wasn't sure if that
Yep.
had been still planned to be on schedule.
Yep, I believe their outage is September 12th. Get
Okay.
reminded of it.
Right, well, I knew that when they had called me, I knew it was late August, but
Yeah.
that was 6 months ago, I think, when we first started talking about this.
I think we stand a good chance to get it opened up before that.
Okay, good, good.
Anything other?
Nope.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next is discussion and possible action to accept the Muscatine County Treasurer's semi-annual report for the period of January 1, 2022 to June 30th, 2022.
Move approve.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Santos. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of the July 18, 2022 regular meeting and the amended minutes of the June 27th, 2022 regular meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Santos, second by Jeff. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. Correspondence. Jeff?
Nothing to note.
Nathan?
I had, still playing phone tag with a gentleman asking about the use of flags at the, for the veterans' graves at the graveyard, at the various graveyards. And that was it.
Okay. The only thing I had was, I had a call from a gentleman that lives on Ward Avenue regarding the dust and road conditions out on Ward, and I had forwarded that information to Keith, but I do want to say that I have traveled and looked at Ward and that project on somewhat of a regular basis, and quite honestly, that road is held up surprisingly well, in my opinion, for the amount of traffic and the loads going up and down that. And as I explained to the resident, that you know, the end's in sight. You know, there's light at the end of the tunnel on this, and that everyone in that area has been really, I believe, cooperative and tolerant of this situation. And in any of these projects, it always has to get worse before it gets better. And but this has worked really well, and to only actually have one conversation, I think, just says a lot about how this has been handled. And I just want to tell the engineer's office that I appreciate that. That's all I had. Santos?
I had one conversation in regards to when 171st was gonna be open too, and the comments are pretty echoed as well too, so that's a positive on that. I shared with them, I thought it was gonna be in a couple more weeks, but it wasn't really a complaint, they were just questioning it, so. I had a call, and a couple emails in regards to a property in Montpelier. I forwarded that, got some good feedback from Eric in regards to that on a complaint. I also had the email back from Eric in regards to the auditor's proposed renovations, email on the courthouse roof, and then emails that I had with Sherry in regards to the ARPA request funds that are gonna be completed believe this week, be the deadline. That's all I had for that.
Okay. Jeff, committee reports?
Nothing to note.
Nathan?
We had the Veterans Affairs meeting on Tuesday, the 19th, and we looked at the 2080. We did not have a quorum, unfortunately, so we had some discussion, didn't take any formal action.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Okay. All I had was on Wednesday, the 20th, I had Board of Health. Santos?
Actually, this would have been under correspondence, but I had a child care meeting with multiple businesses here in town and the city as well too, similar to what we've had in regards to child care, home care businesses that are struggling to keep employees. That was just all I had.
Okay.
Sorry, Tybee, I always miss on the Monday. Monday afternoon, I had the Eastern Iowa Mental Health Region meeting, so sorry about that.
Okay.
On the 18th, that is.
Next up is items with the administration office. First is to review the FY 21-22 year-end fund balances. Good morning.
Good morning. So you all have the full detail sheet in your packet that lists the budgeted versus actual fund balances. So I'll just do a quick overview of that. First, I'll talk about the fund overages, and then we'll talk about the proposed transfers. In the general basic fund, we're over around $1.1 million, and that's mostly due to federal inmate revenue. All the other fund balances are over what was budgeted. Generally speaking, budgeted numbers are best estimates, so we're always gonna have a variance to the actuals. Excuse me. Mental health, is 0 because that's now transitioned to the state level. Secondary roads was over 4.2 million, and that's most likely due to timing of projects. Again, you budget best estimate, and you never know when you're actually gonna get those projects on the schedules. For transferring money, our primary goal, or primary focus is in the general basic fund, since that's our main operating fund. And the goal is to hold that fund balance to 35% and transfer the overages to other funds. So in keeping with prior year decisions, I'm proposing we make transfers to capital projects, building maintenance, and debt repayment. The reasoning behind this is if we have money available in those funds, for projects we know are coming up, like roof repairs or replacements, we would need to borrow money and issue more debt for those projects.
So in light of that, that was one of the questions I'd had, is I see, if I read your sheet right, the proposed transfers, so we would take our general basic down to 49%.
49, right, 49%, but if you look at what we budgeted, our revenues are a little less than our expenditures, so it's actually looking about 35%.
Okay, so you're projecting the 22 budget into that, this current fiscal year budget, we ate into that fund balance a little bit.
Right.
Okay, I wasn't sure, I wanted to.
So going in from the 49%, you'd go down to the 35, is that what you're saying?
It's actually 35 because our expenses are a little more than our revenues.
Our current
So
fiscal
if
year
you
budget,
factor-
we were planning to pull that fund balance down to spend into the fund balance, so.
And send that over to the debt repayment?
Well, the plan is to transfer some of this money over to building maintenance, capital projects, and debt repayment,
Okay.
if you guys are okay with those transfers.
And I know a couple of years ago, we kind of let up a little bit. We were transferring funds, but I'm not sure, we were sending some transfers over to conservation for Deep Lakes Park, which I think I'd like to continue to do at some point, but I know they were having trouble spending them for a while, and then I think he is going to submit that for the campground, the sewer and water into the ARPA requests. Is that, do we know if you've seen that?
Yes, those are
Okay.
on the request. And we always have the option to transfer this money to other funds if we need to at some point.
Yeah. I just think
But
that,
do we need to make this approval?
I think it helps conservation if we can get that revenue generator for him down at Deep Lakes Park. Helps kind of take the taxpayer burden off of the parks group, and we have I think right now we have an opportunity that our current operations in the sheriff's office and the jail are doing an outstanding job. I don't, haven't seen, I'd have to go back, my sheet doesn't go back far enough, but I'm thinking we're operating that jail at a cost below what was done in the 80s.
Probably.
That's an outstanding job by the sheriff and his staff, so. All right,
Okay, very good.
I'm
Thank you.
good with that. That's all the questions I had, you answered them, okay?
So then we gotta go through all these.
Yeah, we'll go through these. First is discussion of possible action to approve resolution 07-252202, transferring funds from the general basic fund to the building maintenance fund and repair fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Santos. This is a roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I vote aye. Santos?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is discussion of possible action to approve resolution 07-252203, transferring funds from the general basic fund to the capital projects fund.
So moved.
Motion by Santos, second by Jeff. Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye, that was Nathan on the second.
Oh, that was Nathan. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's all
Santos
right.
and Nathan.
His mumble sounds like mine.
Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I vote aye, and Santos.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action to approve resolution 07-252204, transferring funds from the general basic fund to the debt repayment fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Nathan, second by Jeff. Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I vote aye, and Santos.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action to approve resolution 07252205, transferring funds from the general basic fund to the Historic Preservation Commission Fund.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Santos, second by Jeff. This is a roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I vote aye. And Santos?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action to approve resolution 07252206, transferring funds from the general basic fund to the Conservation Equipment Reserve Fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Nathan. Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I vote aye. Santos?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action to approve resolution 07252207, transferring funds from the general basic fund to the GIS fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Nathan. Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I vote aye. And Santos?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action to approve resolution 07252208, transferring funds from the Rural Services Fund to the GIS fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Nathan. Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I vote aye. Santos?
I vote aye.
Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action to approve resolution 07252209, transferring funds from the Muscatine Louisa Island Levy Project Fund 1506 to the Debt Repayment Fund 2010.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Santos. Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
I vote aye. And Santos?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is review draft ARPA grant agreements between Muscatine County and 1, political subdivisions, 2, nonprofit organizations, 3, for nonprofit organizations, and 4, Muscatine Power and Water.
So it looked like, Nancy, the only changes you made were on the requirement that the funding had to be 100% within the county in the county or for the benefit of the county.
Right, which is what we had talked about when you reviewed these previously, was to add that language and add a requirement that they make a presentation at the end of their project to the board about how those funds were spent.
And those were the only two changes to those.
Okay.
So if everybody's good with those now, we will distribute those as needed for entities to start accessing the ARPA funds. And then each one of these obviously will come back to you once it's signed off on by that entity.
Yeah.
I'll move the approval.
You don't
It's
need to
not
take
all,
any
it's just
action
review.
on it.
Okay, so,
Yep, just a review. So, very good. Thank
very
you.
good. Thank you for doing it.
Anything else, Nancy?
The only other thing I have is to let you know that we actually have 2 vacancies on the Historic Preservation Commission. Right now, we had one individual who moved out of the county, and then another individual, because of a family health situation, tendered his resignation. So I'm advertising and looking for people to fill those roles.
Okay. very good.
Any particular qualifications we're looking for?
An interest in old stuff.
That'll drive it.
What's the guy that married Elizabeth Taylor's name?
Can I go back and ask Kayla a quick question on the bond funds we did for the levy project? Where did we come in on a rate on that?
2.85.
285? And then the two listed in the minutes, were those the two, those are the bonds we're gonna retire, or they're coming up, or are we not?
You mean on the,
Yeah, in the notes, you had the one at 1.6 and one at 216A and 216B.
no, those will
Those
still be
called,
ongoing.
those call dates, so why would we pay them?
Right, because they have really low interest
Yeah.
rates, so we're keeping those. We are paying off the maintenance building loan,
Okay,
which was our highest interest rate at 3.3%.
okay,
We're paying
good,
that off
okay.
this time around.
Perfect.
And we did, the funds that we issued debt for this year, we did get that check last week. And that was deposited into that Muscatine Louisa Island Levy fund, and so one of the transfers you did was to take the money that we had put in there to be
And
able
swapped it back.
to be able to prove to the feds that, we had the money so that we could get the grant. You transferred the funds we put in there back to our debt repayment fund.
So our building maintenance, so at some point, cause I see we've got some other reports come through here and stuff we're gonna have to talk about. So we have our capital projects plan and building maintenance fund. It looks like we have a $3 million with this transfer in the building maintenance fund. Is that all encumbered, or how much of that do we have encumbered?
None of
Okay.
that's encumbered.
Okay. All right.
Okay. That it?
That's all the only questions I have
Very good.
for now.
Next is receive information from county employees. Do I have any county employees that would wish to address the board? Seeing none. Next is receive comments from the public. Do I have anyone from the public that would like to address the board at this time? Seeing no one come forward, it is 9:32, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.